Thank you very much. I wanted to raise some questions around beneficiaries, quite frankly. You talked about this program being prescribed specifically for metropolitan and highly dense areas. I want to know whether CMS has looked at the disruption to beneficiary access for beneficiaries that obtain competitively bidded items from suppliers that were not awarded contracts, and what the proposal is to make sure that the continuity of care is there.
Well, that is, I think, for us moving to July 1 over the next 6 weeks, the key issue. That's where we are right now, having a ground game, having an approach to go forward and educate beneficiaries so that as of July 1, every beneficiary that needs a product will know where to go. When they get a prescription from a physician or from a discharge planner, they know where to go. They know where the beneficiary needs to be sent. That's the key issue. So we have looked at that. We have a effort underway to educate beneficiaries, educate others.
I'm clear on that, but we're talking logistics here, and just as crucial as our colleagues have spoken about the rural area, you're talking about densely. I'm from New York City, and your agency could spend that period of time that you're talking about evaluating right now just on New York City alone, let alone all of the other metropolitan service areas around this nation. And you're talking about a drastic change in what people, particularly the elderly and the infirmed, would have to do in order to have continuity of care. That transition is critical to their survival, to the quality of health care that they continue on in terms of being able to access the appropriate equipment. And it's a huge change in behavior for a lot of these individuals, a lot of the companies. I wanted to raise that because I really want us to be very focused on, unintended consequences here. What percentage of beneficiaries will have to switch suppliers in this program? Do you have a percentage?
We don't have a percentage yet, and one of the reasons is that, for many of the items, I think more than half, a supplier can continue to provide services as a grandfathered supplier. So for oxygen, example, they could continue to supply their current patients. We don't know how many.
Mr. Wilson, I understand that, but it would seem to me that would have been sort of one of the things you would have done in tandem with issuing the RFP. Because this way, you already know what your catchment group is and where the gaps will be. There will be gaps, particularly in highly dense populations. And there's going to be a concern about, and really a panic. When people are reliant upon medical equipment for their day-to-day lives, and all of a sudden there's a switch, and the educational piece has not necessarily come together in time, the next thing that's going to happen is panic. And that is going to, that is, if this mic is done, let's try this one. Hello? Okay. And that is going to, exacerbate their healthcare concerns. So it would just seem to me that would be happening, we would have to multitask here. And I'm not comfortable with not knowing those percentages. So I just want to encourage you to really try to have a parallel track where that's concerned, because again, I'm very concerned about the delivery systems that we have in place. We have looked at changing that delivery system in order to be more efficient, but at what cost? There's a cost to small business that are no longer in the loop, that have had relationships with the clients, and there has been a delivery system. Maybe you don't believe that system was efficient enough, but this change can also mean a disruption in critical care that people need to receive. So I think that, there's some cart before the horse scenarios here that were probably unanticipated, or that for whatever reason were not dealt with in tandem with the rules that have been promulgated and the contracting arrangements that are now being put in place. Can you tell me what percentage of beneficiaries will have to obtain a new prescription for their competitively bid items?
I'm not sure that they will need a new prescription. Many items are...
Are you positive? It's not about whether you think or you're sure. It's, are you positive? You see, the thing about it is, at the end of the day, I'm looking at the beneficiaries, and you may speculate today that that may not be the case. What if it is? What if it is the case that people have to get new prescriptions because the distribution chain has been disrupted and reconfigured? We're talking about densely populated areas. These people are going to rush to emergency rooms. And in these areas, they're already inundated in the emergency rooms. So I'm really glad that you're here today, because I wanted to raise these questions with you. And I know that the healthcare delivery system requires a response before this is implemented. And I hope you will get back to this committee with a lot of these answers. Dedicate some staff. Let them look at this, because we have concerns about the entire United States of America. You have decided that the best way to be efficient here is to target metropolitan areas. Well, let's talk about the density of those areas and how we're going to effectively and efficiently use this new paradigm that has been set up for delivery. And what is the backup plan if what you believe will happen has unintended consequences? I yield back the rest of my time, Mr. Chairman.